man, it actually fits my big ass head. Viper. Look at that. Now, supposedly the guy that owns the pub next door runs Viper Brewery. So she was showing me their IPA and showing me their which is weird. Their IPA. I'm not a massive fan of IPAs because I just find they're a bit. And then, but her one's actually really good. So it has hints of citrus with a little bit of passion fruit in there as well as the resin. So it's actually quite nice. And then we had the lager, and then we had something else, and then I bought beers on top of it. And I'm like, this is not going to end well. Uh-oh.
No. Work. There we go. Now it's recording. Now it's recording my actual voice. The whole thing. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Recording voice.
Yay. Fucking hell.
Exactly what you need, man.
Aye.
Can you hear the fan?
No, I can't hear the phone.
Okay, cool. I'm just hoping the recording can't hear the fan.
Well, this one's my one. You've got to edit the next one, which is the one
which happens Tuesday.
Yeah, which is Tuesday.
Episode 38, as you so eloquently put it, where it's not.
Dorks Down Under. Oh, all right, okay, right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dorks Down Under, Season 2, Episode 37. We have got the numbers right now. Because we couldn't... this is the problem when we recorded several episodes up front, and we haven't got them drafted and published yet, so we've kind of just got our numbers all over the place. So that is my fault, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All right? We've already decided that we're going to correct this. We're going to have this corrected for next season. We're actually going to write... We're going to have a document that's on the go between me and Dez so that we can see what we're up to and what we've discussed. Because the amount of times that we've discussed something and then we don't know... Oh, yeah, you fuzzed out. The amount of times we've discussed whatever it is, and then Dez does all our beautiful thumbnails for our channels, and of course we can never remember what it is without having to go back and listen to it. So, next season, we're going to be prim, proper, we're going to actually be professional, ladies and gentlemen. And in yes, and in saying that, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us available on all good podcast software, as well as vidcast on YouTube, as well as Spotify. And we do have social media. We're very terrible at using it, but we do have it. We are on Twitter and TikTok, and you find us everywhere at Dorks Down Under.
Makes sense.
Right. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, yes. That, okay, I admit that it was my fault for getting mixed up and all that jazz. But anyway.
It was kind of funny, though.
It is kind of funny. God forbid. The fact is that I can't remember.
It was like 38. And I was like, really? I'm pretty sure I've got one to do.
Yeah.
He's got two to do. And we've only released episode 32.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Thank God. God forbid.
Like, wow, we've released heaps.
I tell you what, some of ours, God forbid. I've had a mental week. I had a mental week. So I was down, obviously, in Christchurch last weekend because we didn't record. Which was awesome. I went to see the Cause. It was belter.
Oh,
so
I told you I've seen the Cause live.
They were really good. They had Natalie Imbruglia as support act. Sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, she was immense, like really good sort of thing. But I'll tell you one thing: I would have enjoyed the concert more if my feet were working, because the same day as the concert it was mega raid day for Garchomp. So, and there was a local event. So I went through Campfire and I was like, oh, there's a local event on. Great. I can just basically follow the crowd. And, they posted up the route. They did everything. It was really slick, actually. I very much liked it. It was really good.
I've really got to get back into that because, the problem is I literally can't find anybody. I seem to be getting a lot of invites from Japan because when they've invited me over, China and Japan, because when they invite me, I normally go, yeah, cool. So now I seem to get several invites a day.
I hammered it on Mega Garchomp Day because obviously when I got to Christchurch, I was 18 raids away from getting my Master Ball, and I was like, ooh, if I buy the ticket, I get like 10 raid passes for free. And I was like, well, okay, that's a good chunk. And I thought, well, if I just do a couple of extra ones here and there on this weekend, I should be able to sort of be down to a very manageable number because it like ends as of today. It like ends in 2 days' time, and I was like, right, I've got one mega raid weekend that I've got to really just hammer it, and I ended up spending a couple of premium passes to do some extra raids for the day. But I must have, I caught like 4 shinies. My shiny catch rate was up through the roof for this event. It was hilarious.
I seem to get, when it comes to shinies, I get shit. But then for some reason, occasionally I get one good one. Like obviously we were on the podcast that time.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, I can do that. I was like, yes. I was like, why is the motherfucker pink? And watching Jordan lose his mind, he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, look. And I remember showing it to the camera. And then that was the end of the podcast. And then I think there was probably about 30 minutes after that podcast where he was just swearing at me.
Oh, honestly, about it, I met a cool guy, another fellow dad who I was walking around with, and we were having natters. He's from England as well, sort of thing. And but big shout out to Will. Big shout out. But I'll say, we just had good natters and became friends and through it, and sort of, we've been sharing gifts every day and stuff like that. So he said next time, obviously I'm down, because obviously, I explained to him what I'm doing for work now. I said, I'm going to be in Christchurch now. He said, next time you're down, let me know, and we'll go out for a beer and whatnot, sort of thing. So I was like, sweet ass, sort of thing. So
that sounds
Pokemon,
cool.
Bringing people together, yeah. Anyway, it's but
it's kind of like we're gonna get drunk and play Pokemon.
Yes, but literally, I completed the Master Ball quest yesterday. I was down to 3 yesterday, and I was like, right, I've got 2 free raid passes because I haven't used the Friday's one, and I was like, right, if I find a raid, I'll do it. And as I did the dog walk in the morning, there was like a 3-star raid, so I soloed that. Eddie was like, how many raids are you gonna do today? And I went, Eddie, I need 2 more. Said if I find 2 simple ones today, we'll go into them, sort of thing. And then so I got my other 3 raid pass, and then I found another one later on. And then as I was out walking the dogs yesterday afternoon, I was like, right, we're going here, quick. Literally, I looked it up and I was like, there's a raid popping now, let's go, sort of thing. So we literally did that.
The dog's just like, seriously, please. Just no more walks. I'm buggered. It's like, shut up, dog. We need.
I'll tell you what, though, Mega Garchomp. So Mega Garchomp did. By the time I got to the concert, at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. It was around then because I went out and grabbed some food, came back, got changed, then went back out. And I thought, I'll just see what steps I'm on for today. Because obviously I've walked around, like where the park was where the concert was, and I've walked around it several times doing gyms. And literally, in between walking into town as well and getting food, I was on like 30,000 steps for the day before getting to the concert. And I was like, oh God, I shouldn't have looked at that number because I know what's going to happen in an hour's time after I've had a couple of beers. My feet are going to go, we're done. Take us home, please. We want to go to bed. No. But yeah, so I ended up, I stayed for most of the concert, and it got to like 9:30. You know when you hear the set and you can hear them turning it down because they're starting to wind down. And I thought to myself, I could leave now and just get into an Uber and get back to my hotel, and I'll be in bed before all the rush happens. And I was literally like, you know what, I'm doing that because I did, the cause had done the songs I want to hear, sort of thing. Apart from So Young was the only one they didn't do at that point, and I thought, can I be bothered waiting on to see if they do this song? And I was just like,
and I'm that tired, I'd much rather just play it on Spotify.
Literally, my feet were killing me, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get back, and I'm gonna have a nice shower, put my feet up, and then I think I ended up watching. I watched Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes. I remember watching that.
Fun, actually. I didn't mind that one. Like, it was.
I didn't mind those Sherlock Holmes movies. They're not good. They're just, it's a good, they're just something to put on, I find.
They really are a no-brainer where you can just put on and it's a little bit of fun.
You put on, I literally had that, I had a cold can of beer, and I thought, oh, this is how you end the night, sort of thing. And I think then I went to bed about midnight, and then the next day I was travelling to Timaru. So I got back on Monday from Timaru. Timaru is literally in the middle of the South Island between like Christchurch and Dunedin, sort of thing. So it's like bang in the middle. There's no airport.
I've never been there.
It is like it has a small local airport, i.e., for their own little snesners and stuff like that, but you can't fly to it. So you have to either fly into Christchurch or Dunedin, get a car and drive to get to it. So it's like, oh God, I have to drive to. So I drove all the way down. I stayed over the night and then drove back after I did my work the next day, and then drove back and then got. Luckily, I got on an earlier flight, which was quite good. So I managed to get home. Originally, I was going to get home at like 10 o'clock at night. And then I ended up getting home at like 5 in the afternoon. Oh no, 6 o'clock I got home, and I was like, yes, belter. So I was happy. Happy I actually got to see my family, sort of thing. Seems I've been gone for nearly a week, so it was quite nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Oh, you guys are still around.
Yeah,
Nice to see you.
yeah. But yeah, apart from that, the one thing I do want to discuss, and it is a bit dorky. It is a bit dorky because obviously it was all over my TikTok feed, and then
this podcast has never spoken about anything nerdy or dorky.
I want to discuss BlizzCon happened while I was away.
Yes, it did,
and they announced obviously their new expansions. So obviously, can we just call this the Marvel effect now, right? Okay, where companies are going, oh, we're not just going to give you, oh, this is the next thing. No. Here's the entire arc that we're delivering, because it is just the Marvel effect, isn't it?
To be fair though, I don't hate that though.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Because for so many times, at least you've got something to look forward to. I find sometimes with especially with WoW, you hear nothing about it, and then all of a sudden they do it, and it's like, it doesn't seem to really follow any kind of trajectory. It's kind of like, oh, Battle of Azeroth wasn't great with these powers. I don't like them. And then they kind of go, and then they kind of do that. And I'm like, I don't know. To me, I don't really hate it because I'm like, it gives us something to look forward to. And it also causes companies to actually pre-plan things.
Yeah.
Which to be fair, doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, what was it? So they've announced obviously the next 3-1, which was good, and the next one's called The War Within. Basically, apparently it's a sequel. It's a trilogy that's gonna. I don't think obviously it's not gonna wrap up the story of World of Warcraft because it's a cash cow. They Blizzard. I'm pretty sure if Blizzard were to get rid of this, they'd die on their laurels. They don't think they could do anything else realistically. But what I found really funny is that everyone on my TikTok algorithm collectively lost their minds and were like, the people who, because obviously I used to be a World of Warcraft player / addict. In fact,
I streamed it during COVID.
Yeah, no, I was a WoW addict. I happily admit it. In fact, I met Ellie at the end of my addiction. God forbid. But yeah.
Women ruin everything.
Oh, no. She saved me from myself. Jesus. I was the guy who had the event timers stacked up on my phone, so I could then wake up to then get the reset and then cash in all the special event quests in and get myself like special mounts and all. I was that guy, the guy with zero time in life. It was so bad. But yeah, so anyway, but the fact is my TikTok feed went mental about how people people not thinking about Warcraft for 10 years. The War Within expansion announcement. Maybe I need to come back. It's like, no.
It is no, because even then though, if you've logged onto Twitter and you follow any streamer that even remotely does anything with Blizzard, every single one has a competition where it's refollow, and you can win an epic one. And to be fair, the last one, Dragonflight, I haven't actually played that, but I did buy it. Well, buy it's a bit of a loose term. I actually won it. So Doom Cutie, one of the streamers over in Western Australia, actually had a competition. I randomly won it. So I was like, sweet, I don't have to pay it, and I've still got all the cool stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
So I won't lie, I've entered a few of those, so hopefully I can win that too. But I must say, I'm very tempted just to get back into it and play it a little bit. Yeah. Because I enjoy it. I actually miss playing it. It's kind of fun. I used to do Mount Monday, whereas Mount Hunt Monday, where I used to just have this thing I think it's called Silver Armory. And what you used to do is you used to type in Silver Armory, you'd put in your username, put in your thingo, and it would actually have all the things you don't have. But what you can also do is hit the tab for mounts, and it actually says, fly to here, do this. You can do this 10 times because you're allowed 10 times in a day or a week maybe. From there, go to this one. From there to go to this one. And then when you get one, it obviously puts it in your little thingo and it takes it off your run sheet. So all I would do was work down a run sheet.
Okay.
And some of them were great, especially when you could do them 10 times. Because I could chat and stream. And because a lot of them too are these ones where you could solo it. So they're fantastic. And I still remember on stream, I got this one I think it was in the Panda place where it was just this constellation dragon one.
Yeah.
And I just remember it. So I got it and I was like, and the thing popped up and these two things popped up based on the whatever it was, the add-ons I was using, and I was like, yes. And I took it out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yes, I got the pet, because you supposedly get a pet, this little constellation like bulldog or pug or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like dancing around with this puppy. I bring the puppy out. I'm like this, and all of a sudden, Numbers and Food Time are going, look in your bag. I'm like, no, I know, I got it, thinking that maybe it was delayed and maybe they were writing it. And I was dancing around with this puppy, and then I was running around with a little puppy and just being a twat until eventually Numbers actually hopped on to my voice channel because he obviously was a mod, so he was able to. And he literally said in my stream, "Fuckwit, look in your bag." And then so I opened my bag and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Look at the purple one." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the puppy." He's like, "Double click it." So I double clicked it, and all of a sudden it says, "This mount unlocked." And it says, "You got it after 2 goes." And he's like, "Oh my God." And Food Time's like, "I've done that like 400 times." And then he logged on and we ran it again just so that he could do it on his thingo. And it came up with, "You've tried this 418 times." And I'm like,
wow.
And I got it number 2. And I'm like, but I used to love, that was my favorite thing to do, was just to do mounts.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I mean, my favorite time of playing WoW was when I worked for Games Workshop, because me and the guys at the store, we all played it, and we created our own guild on the server. It was called Blue Shirt Inc. because Games Workshop staff all wore blue shirts, sort of thing. So we called it Blue Shirt Incorporated.
I love that you guys are like, I don't have enough addictions. Let's do this. Like,
but yeah, but there was like a rotating group of us, about over like 6 to 8 of us on. So obviously we could run the harder raids and stuff like that, which was quite fun. But it was just generally hilarious of us just sort of cracking jokes, and me. What was I being? I was being a fire mage at that point. I can't remember which race it was, but I was just being a fire mage. I was like, yes, fire. Like, Jordan, stop causing more aggro. We are busy trying to tank for you. And it's like, no, damage. Let's go.
You're also talking to somebody that I used to play with Numbers, Food Time, and then one of my good mates from Queensland used to come on, Andy, and then occasionally Numbers' brother would play with us, to the point where, because obviously I am a maniac, I was a hunter just because I wanted pets, to the point where I would stop mid-raid while trying to tame a pet because I was so excited to do it. But I also have a little thing called Barrage, where you click a button and it just spews bullets everywhere or arrows everywhere.
Yeah.
And it hits everything. And my friends hated me for it, because quite often in dungeons I'd be like, bang, 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 Barrage, and it would just go, and then it would pull the entire thing out, to the point where when I joined a guild, my guild master, who was amazing, Will, if you're out there listening, man, love you, brother. Yeah, he almost killed me. He's like, use Barrage again, I will murder you. I'm like, okay. To the point where I learnt to run around behind the enemy and fire up where we came. And that was the only reason why I was allowed to use Barrage. But yeah, I honestly thought he was going to murder me, because the number of times I'd pull way too much stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
no.
Like,
I'll tell you one thing. That was the one thing that, because you think it, like when you first start playing Warcraft. I say Warcraft. When you start playing WoW, you just have this thing of, you're just on your own most of the time. So you just run around, do this, do that. You're just running around just being a dick, sort of thing. But once you get to I think it's like level 40, is where you suddenly realise how much time and hours you've put into this. So you're like, actually, maybe need to learn how to play now. How do I actually learn to play good? It's either that, or you learn how do I learn to do as much damage and kill this thing as quick as possible, because I need to start.
That is 100% false.
Yes.
Because I still have zero idea what I was doing. I literally bought it, got a boosted. Then I played with Numbers, Food Time, who literally carried me, to the point at one stage there, Food Time would just put me on this 2-seater rocket and fly me to places because I want this pet, or I want this armor, and I had enough of some coins that I got that I don't know how I got them to buy said things. And then when I joined the actual thing, I literally got carried. It was amazing, and I'm like, I still love that game, and I'm like, I still miss it sometimes. And to be fair, I would. Who is it? Andy's been on my back about coming back and doing it, and I'm like, I'm really tempted just to do it.
Honestly, I mean, don't get me wrong. I had to look at the cinematic and everything, because you gotta look at it, and it was pretty. And yes, did it stir? Because I used to read all the books, like the actual books about it all and stuff like that, and those were really. Yeah, like the novels about all the characters and the lore and the history. I just because you know me, I love a good. I'm a fluff guy. I like the lore and history of
Yeah,
It's the reason why I enjoy reading all the Space Marine novels and Horus Heresy and the Siege. I love that sort of thing because I just like knowing a bit of I like a bit of meat sort of thing. That's the reason why none of my armies are competitive because I get an idea. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm gonna base it off this army in this book. Yeah.
yeah.
Why aren't you running
I'm
this?
basing
Oh,
off
the
history.
army doesn't have that. But it's in the codex. No. The army I'm playing doesn't use them. And people
You've got to
just
also remember too, though, is I'm the person that thought it was amazing to run Angry Marines
yes,
based on what a friend had told me,
yeah,
and then finding out about the codex and actually seeing how pedantic people are about said codex. I'm like, yeah, I don't care anymore. Like
yeah,
the codex to me, I'm like, I don't care. Mine is just I'm playing by the rule of cool. Does this look cool?
yeah.
Hell's yes.
But yeah, so obviously, so you got the War Within, and then it goes to Midnight, they call it, and then the last of the trilogy is the Last Titan, which is interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But I'll be honest, it is tempting. But the problem is that I have very little time now.
I have a mortgage.
I have so little time now between doing like the gym night, my poker night. The weekends are busy during generally doing family stuff. I actually don't know. I haven't even touched my MTG channel in nearly a year. I actually physically don't know where I could slot in. Because the problem is, I know this is not. I can't even lie to myself. I could squeeze an hour in here and there. You don't play WoW for an hour. You don't. What happens is that you log on to WoW and then suddenly you look at the clock and it's like, crap, it's been 4 hours. It's like, how's it been 4 hours? It can't have been 4 hours. This clock is lying to me. And then you blame the clock and then you go to bed tired and then wake up feeling twice as bad. So yeah,
Yeah.
I already know I'm not going to lie to myself saying I can squeeze in an hour here and there because there's no point in trying to lie to myself. I already know that I can't do it.
That was a weird thing because when Numbers and I obviously first spoke about this, we streamed on his channel, me getting to know it,
Mm.
and then about an hour and a half in, Food Time, who obviously we know from the creators, same way I met Jordan, he randomly popped in the stream, saw we were playing, or logged on, and then pretty much did that. And what was weird though is the three of us playing that actually made us join together and do rather be drafting, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's where the idea came from while we were talking on that. And yeah, it was kind of weird because yeah, it was one of those things where I would always set around 3 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where I would just play.
Mm.
And I literally streamed, and I had no intention to do anything. I literally said, and and I remember Numbers is like, he goes, why are you streaming it? I'm like, to be honest, because at least then if I'm saying I'm streaming it, I've
Mm.
got an excuse to play it
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, I'm streaming, so I've got to play it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it was insane because I actually got a couple of payouts from Twitch, which was weird, which I was quite shocked. And I actually didn't do too badly on Twitch, which is weird because this is a face for podcast, but now Jordan wants to record the podcast audio. But normally it's a face for podcasting. So it was kind of weird. But that being said, it was kind of a lot of fun, and I miss doing that. And that's why I said sometimes I wish I could go back to streaming just one day a week
Mm.
for no other reason other than this excuse to play games again.
Yeah.
But is it worth spending however much it is on World of Warcraft subscription for one day a week?
Yeah. That's the other side. Let's be honest, right? Okay. World of Warcraft subscription. Okay, yeah. If you want to do the month to month thing, it's cheap. It's too cheap, in fact. In fact, you can't. It's hard to justify. But the fact is that in comparison, you get better benefits if you buy the year one because they give you, you can have this extra and this and blah and blah, and you just get 5 billion free stuff. That it's like, I really should buy the year long one, but it's like, God, that's a lot of money. I'm about to say, especially I remember doing it when I was a student, and I'm like, right, okay, so if I just buy this, then I've just got
Just
to
to let you know,
have ramen for the week. And that's
so it's currently $19.95 a month. If you
Jesus.
buy 6 months,
Yeah.
it's $12.25 a month. But weirdly, and then you get a free mount, which is this cool little fish
Okay.
one, which I
Alright.
kind of think's cool. But then weirdly, it's like, but if you go for 12 months, which is the best value,
Yeah, but you've got to pay for
it's
it up front.
it's 17.25. I'm like, So 6 months and 12 months are the same.
Okay.
So why does it matter? And the good thing is if you get 6 months, you pay, and I think it's about $103.50. Which, to be fair, if you're somebody that does buy a new release game every couple of months, which costs you $80-$90, it's probably actually not that bad considering. For me, I'm somebody that I just bought a game that I'm actually really enjoying at the moment called Strange Brigade.
Okay.
Which is kind of set in 1930s kind of Egypt. It's kind of like this archaeological thing in the 1930s Egypt, where it's kind of got those sort of like 1960s movies where they're like, our adventurers will be back right after this. It's kind of got this narrator that does this, and obviously it's a shooting game and stuff like that, and you're fighting zombies and things. And myself and a streamer friend of mine, Goddess Gaming, actually played it together because I bought it because it was like $4.99 or $5.99 on one of the sales, and I'm like, this was a game that when it came out, I loved it. I love Egypt. I love history. I'm just going to play it, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. But I'm like, that cost me like $5. But I'm like, it's just so hard because I'm like, I really want to, but it's just.
Yeah, it is. No, the fact is the expansion. The problem is obviously the other big issue with World of Warcraft now, the way it is if I want to play because my last expansion was Mr. Pandaria. Yeah, it was Mr. Pandaria. So if I want to get on this one, I have to buy every other expansion that I've made, which is what, 3 expansions?
No, do you?
Is it? Yeah, if you want to play it, because the problem is that it's all the level progression. So you've got to. I mean, you might be able to boost through. No. I think so. Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I know if you want to play the Dragonfly Pacific stuff, I think you do. But one thing I did notice though, that if you do buy the 12 months, you do actually get a giant Grimlock ground mount, a Gleaming Moonbeast mount, you get a Lunar New Year offer mount. So yeah, so you kind of get a few things, but I didn't think you have to actually buy.
Apparently the War Within includes Dragonflight, sort of thing. So
if you buy the latest one, it includes the previous one. But what's weird though is something that has just popped up on Twitter, which is really weird because I actually did this once where I don't remember what happened. I think I bought a WoW token.
Okay.
And originally I bought a WoW token because a friend of mine said he had no money, so I was like, I'll buy one and I'll send it to him, and it should be all good. The weird thing is too, though, is that then what ended up happening was he ended up getting a few extra hours, and then he bought one. So I had one, so I sold it on the auction house, and obviously then you get shit tons of gold, and then you go and buy a whole heap of mounts, which is kind of exciting. But it's just popped up today, and it came through. So at the moment I think it's November 18th, 10:56, but obviously American time. Blizzard has announced that players will no longer be allowed to purchase WoW tokens from the auction house or the in-game shop for gold if they have not spent real money to purchase and consume at least 30 days of game time since 2017.
Okay.
Which means that, I mean, it does mean in theory that as long as you purchase one 30-day thingo, you can technically still do this. But I knew a lot of people that they would farm and would never ever pay for a WoW subscription because they could just keep buying this from the auction house. And to be fair, you put one of these on the auction house and it sells, and then you have shit tons of gold. And then what I do, which is I just buy way too many mounts because I love mounts, which is why I'm now thinking of buying a 12-month subscription just because it gets me 3 or 4 mounts.
Oh God, no! I'll tell you one thing. I remember that I used to love and hate the auction house, especially for buying and selling. Because God forbid, I mean, sometimes you would. I mean, I used to do on my main character. I was Enchanter. I was in Enchanter. Was it Enchanting? Yeah, it was Enchanting. And so sometimes I'd need. Because enchanting was basically, you needed some very rare, especially for the high level enchantments, you'd need some very rare mats. And so it's like, I'm trying to farm them. It was generally, you have to go into this raid with at least 5 people. It's like, for God's sakes. So then you're competing, and everyone knows that these mats sell for large money. So, everybody needs it. No, they don't. But anyway, so you would either, and the chance drop rate of it was low anyway. So most of the time it's like, right, I need to buy it. And either it would be extortionate Or it's like, or you then you'd find it yourself. It's like, well, I don't need this. I'm going to sell this on. Could you sell it on for good money? Nope. Cheapest. Oh, whenever I came to sell, even using all these add-ons saying, "Oh, sell it this time" and blah blah blah. No, would never be a good price. And it's like, for God's sakes. So I used to wind me up about the auction now. But then sometimes I put one thing on for a random stupid price, and suddenly there's a bid war going on between three people, and it's just like stupid levels of money. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Well, now I don't know. I think you can put something on for bidding, but now you just go, I'm selling it for 20 gold, and people can buy it or take it. And that's one thing I am worried about logging on to my characters on WoW, is because I know for a fact is that we use this thing Auctioneer where you go on, it tells you how much the cheapest one is, and then you just beat it by a couple of gold.
Yeah.
And then because I can't remember, I think I was a crafter, so I would just make these deep sea bags that would hold 32.
Yeah.
So literally, I worked out that if the I think it's one of the expensive ones. If it was under like a certain amount of gold, I could buy that, and if I bought a whole heap, I could then make 10 bags and still make another half in gold. So I was doing that where I would buy it all, and then when it gets to a certain price, I'd stop. And then you tend to find you wait a couple of days, and then you go back on, and people have kept trying to shortcut themselves. Then you buy a whole heap back up to that price. So then whoever is making deep sea bags realize that if I buy it, then I'm not going to make much.
Yeah.
So I was literally screwing the market, but I was making heaps of gold, and I just kept buying mounts with it. And my friends are like, why don't you do something good like buy weapons? I'm like, I just want mounts.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I play.
No, I'd about to say there's nothing wrong with that as well. I mean, God forbid, I think before when I was playing Mists, this is obviously before they even announced the next expansion and all this jazz. I was getting bored, and this is luckily when I got pulled out of it, sort of thing. Yeah. But I was just like, I was running around. In fact, I had at one point I ended up running a raid service for noobs. You know, for noobs who were struggling, because obviously at that point, getting a full party together for like the low level raids for them to move on was a struggle. Yeah. So I was like, I'll run you through. All right, and what would you charge? And I was literally charging like 2 gold. I said, I'll run you through. And they're like, really? I went, yeah. And literally, I would walk forward because I'm fire mage, so I'm walking through, and I'm either just running and pulling everything, or I'm then just go and get to a decent thing. AOE, boom, kills everything immediately because it's one shotting. My AOE can one shot everything. And it's like bam, 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 And it's occasionally I would end up saying, oh, if we come across this though, I am collecting and I would like it. And they went, yeah, sure, it's a deal, sort of thing, Because the fact is, they're getting boosted through. They're getting all the XP. Because I'm getting nothing because I'm max cap. So they're just getting everything. And I'm just like, yep, pay me my 2 gold, walk off. And occasionally it's like, oh, we're running through this raid. And it's like, oh, if this pops up though, I want it. That's it. And I'm like, all right, cool, sort of thing, It was generally a done and dusted agreement, that was it, sort of thing. I only have had one bad experience with a guy who was not happy. I said, oh, if this, I can't remember what it was. I said, oh, if this thing pops up, I want it. So I will need roll. All the rest of you just ignore it. And I went, yeah, sure. This one guy went, no, I want it. And I was like, that's not the deal, brother. He lost it. Luckily, I need roll 100. I was like, yes. Sort of thing. I felt really good about that. And the guy was in the chat saying, oh, he screwed us over. He did this and did that. But everyone else was like, no, he's being a bitch because he lost out on the need roll when he was agreed upon that this, the guy who's running us through would do this. And if this popped up, which it did, that he would get it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Well, that was a weird thing because, I mean, even when I joined my guild, like I posted something in one of these Australian sites and somebody reached out to me. And it was funny because a few people went, oh, Will can be pretty full on. And I spoke to him, and he's a really good guy. Like, I got on really well with him. But I think sometimes he just gets annoyed with just bullshit.
Yeah.
So he can sometimes be quite short. Plus, he also has, as he said, he goes, I got a bit of a bad name from back in the day because I used to run a few guilds, and he was kind of like crazy.
Yeah.
But now he ran this guild, and it was just this kind of really cool, low-key thing. But that was so amazing. Like, by the time I literally ran, I think 3 nights with him. So I would run, I think it was the Monday and the Wednesday. So Monday night mounts turned to Friday, and I would run Monday and Wednesday with him. But like, it was like, oh, what deal have you got? Oh, you're a hunter here. And they just give me a bow. So I went from like level like 300 to level like 410 or something.
Oh.
To the point where I was a badass. And I'm just like, but they was just so good about it. And I'm like, to the point where now, like even now, if I see them online or if they pop up in Discord, I'll always have a chat to them. They're just such genuine people, and I'm like, I would love to find that again because I just used to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason I would come back to WoW is if I could play regularly with a good bunch of eggs, sort of thing. Because it was nice playing, but the fact is that when you just want to have a fun raid, and there's a difference between having a raid and having a fun raid. A fun raid is, we're gonna go through it and we're chatting crap while we're doing it, and we're doing this and doing it. Everyone knows what they're doing, but it's just like you don't need to be. Right, make sure you 33 seconds, go. And it's like, no, I don't want that. I want fun. I want a bit of a giggle. That's all I need. That's all I want. I don't ask for much.
And this one was kind of the same. We'd talk shit during Thingo, but when the raid was on, there was obviously proper calls and stuff because we were doing like the big boy raids.
Yeah.
As they call. But like while we were running towards different ones, or while we were there, we'd give each other shit, and we'd it was just a lot of fun. And even when I was playing with Food Time and Numbers, it ended up being myself, Food Time, Numbers, and then it was either Andy as well as Numbers' brother, or sometimes Numbers' brother or Andy could make it. So you always had 4, but you had, what's his name, Food Time as a tank, myself as Numbers as a healer. So all you were looking for was DPS.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the DPS didn't really have to do anything.
Yeah.
Just not pull 1,000 people. And to be fair, we were all on Discord chatting and stuff, and occasionally you'd see them. Sometimes you'd see some of them would chat and be like, "Oh, with this one you got to do this." Oh, okay, cool. And you just whatever. And it was, and we just just ignore it, and we just chat and muck around. But it was such a good time, and we'd just be able to do it, and then I end up doing a few things. And what's funny too, though, is right now, if you ask me to do any of it, I'm like, I don't even know how to do it. Because Numbers and Food Time used to just always add me to stuff. Do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it is. No, about to say, and that was the thing, is that I tended to be the guy. I was the bit of the research guy of Blue Shirt Inc. So it's like, we're gonna do this raid. Okay, all right, and literally, I just end up going away because I just couldn't help it, sort of thing. I was just like, I just want to see what's available for loot, because that's what you want to see. I'm playing this character. Is anything good for me? So you end up going on, but then the problem is that I'd start looking at loot. And then I start looking at, here's the mechanics. If this monster spawns in this area, you change your route. You want to go from, instead of doing this route, you want to go through that route. It's just like, okay. And then next thing we know, we turn up and it's like the next week and it's like, right, so what's the game plan? It's like, right, boys, so we're aiming for this. So this is what's kind of going to drop. And it's like, do you do anything else? It's like, I looked for me and it was a rabbit hole for 20. It was a rabbit hole for an hour. All right, okay, and I wrote some notes down. So just listen up,
I must say, last Sunday when you weren't here, I was just like, oh, sweet. So I was just chilling and I was doing a few things to the website and stuff. And then at night, I was just like, well, I don't really have to do anything. I'm just going to chill. So I literally just sat there. To be fair, I probably should have been editing.
I was about to say, you could have been editing the episode that you've been putting up.
I just couldn't be asked. But I ended up going down a rabbit hole, and this is an episode that I want to do. So obviously it was about a movie and how there's some conspiracy theory out there that this is X. And then I was like, that actually sounds kind of cool. And then next thing I know is I started to search a few other people that have conspiracy theories about different movies.
Okay.
And we kind of got into a bit of a rabbit hole. So
yeah, we've talked about it. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't had time to research it, so yeah, we definitely need to have a look at that as an episode. That would be quite fun. But yeah,
because there are quite a few out there, and to the point where when I was looking at it, I was doing research, and I was going through these YouTube not YouTube, Instagram videos and stuff. And I was going through a whole heap of stuff, and I was like, cool. And then I kind of Googled a few websites, and there is so many out there. It is kind of scary.
Oh, I can imagine.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. We're like, damn.
Yeah, but no, they are buzz. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to discuss WoW because obviously, I'm a former WoW addict, sort of thing. To be fair, Burning Crusade was my jam, man. I love Burning Crusade. Everyone has their personal expansion. I love the Burning Crusade. I just liked how grinding 10 levels was an absolute pain. God, it was so difficult, but I loved it at the same time. It was just good because
it wasn't Azeroth. It was one before Azeroth. So I remember Azeroth was my first ever expansion.
Okay. That would be Shadowlands, I think. I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll pass it. Hang on. You talk. 1 second. expansions.
Yeah, no, because I just remember there was a lot of stuff that came up, and I was just like, okay, it's kind of cool and stuff. And I was watching people play, and I was like, this is just awesome. And then I was saying the numbers, I was like, I really want to play this. Yeah, Shadowland. Oh no,
No,
yeah,
Legion. Legion. Legion was
no. Sorry, it wasn't. It
no?
was Battle of Azeroth when I started.
Okay.
Sorry, Shadowlands was the first one that I did. That when I started, when the expansion actually started.
Okay.
The Battle of Azeroth, I think I started just before, like 8 months, 9 months before it. Because I just saw all these ads.
Oh my
And I
god.
was just like, it looks cool.
Jeez,
And then, yeah,
I've oh my god, has there been this many? I mean, I was aware of Dragonflight and Shadowlands. There's three
Yeah,
other
Battle of
ones
Azeroth.
that I wasn't aware of. Oh my god.
But yeah,
Jeez.
I think my main is an Orc
Eh?
Hunter.
Hang on. The
And
level cap
no,
went. The level cap went from 120 to 70.
yeah.
What?
Because what happened is Battle of Azeroth, it was 120.
Yeah.
But rather than kept going, what they then did for Shadowland is everybody that was at 120 went back to 50, and then it was up to Thingo. So it's almost like they went, that's a bit high, and then they went back. It was kind of weird because I logged on one day and
Yeah.
I went from level 100 to level like 50, and I was like, what? And I was like, my account's been hacked. Somebody's got it.
Yeah.
I ended up
No.
playing
To be fair, all right. One thing I will say about WoW as well. I think we need to discuss it because I have very strong opinions on WoW Classic. Now,
yeah,
I get the point. Because Blizzards was struggling and they wanted more money and all that jazz, so they decided to release original WoW but fixed, i.e., all the bugs were gone and blah blah blah. And I get it, I really do. But I'm sorry if the fact is, the one problem I had with the WoW Classic thing is that if I had already bought and paid for WoW, which generally everyone had, there's that, oh no, you got to pay for WoW Classic, it's different.
you had to play for Classic.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if it was for the first. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But there was a level cap. It was like kind of running like the original free one, so you could only get to like level 10 or something daft like that. But the problem I have with it is that it's like, oh no, but it's not. Oh no, it's not like World of Warcraft. This is World of Warcraft Classic. It's the same game. Can we just call it the same game? Because it is the same game. It's just I understand.
Oh, it is, but what it is, so you can relive those things without this thing. But no, from memory, it's included in the subscription.
Yeah.
So you're not actually paying extra for it. So obviously, if you already, even if you didn't already have it, if you've got a WoW subscription, you go back and play it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that people have nostalgia. Don't get me wrong. I'm the guy who watches roughly the same movies every year. I'm that guy. Okay, I get nostalgia, but I'm sorry, but I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't have time. Don't have to play the same game, just slightly differently. I've got enough to do, sort of thing. But yeah,
I don't know. Like a lot of people got really into it. Like I know, for example, we lost food time for a bit because he got super into it because he was like, "Wow, this is fun." And I'm like, those people that like that and kind of are a little bit over how much it's changed and how it seems to sometimes feel like it's been losing a little bit of sight on what they grew up with. I kind of understand that, and I mean, I think like any game, I think people have their own have their own love for certain things. And I know food time was so rapt to go back and revisit it. So for me, I'm like, I kind of understand why they've done it, but it did seem to get a lot more people get their subscriptions back.
As a question,
and I think it's not a bad thing.
As a question, do you think they should try for the WoW sequel movie? Like, I don't know where did you find that? How did you find the WoW movie? As a question.
Well, I watched that before I had even played WoW.
Yeah. Okay.
I had heard a little bit about it. I got invited to. It was kind of a media event. It was kind of something that. I don't know if it was a media event as such, but it was something that I think what happened was they had a whole heap of passes that they were giving out, and you could win them. And I won one. Me and a mate went, and I really enjoyed it, but I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So all these people were like, "Oh, this and the other." That being said, though, there were rumors that it was due to be released for the main reason that it had done so ridiculously well in China.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not sure.
The Chinese market was massive, and even though it didn't do as well in whatchamacallit in
the Western box office,
America and the Western, it did so well in China. So I can kind of, to be fair, I'm open to it. I think it'd be great.
Because to be fair, I actually, I really like it. I mean, look, is it perfect? No. But the problem is that you're talking about a game product that has a lot of lore. To be fair, it was like when they did the TV series for Halo. All right, the problem is that everyone has there's this big game and it has a lot of history and a lot of knowledge, and the problem is you cannot make everybody happy. Okay.
No.
But at the same time, the way I was thinking, considering the movie, I thought, right, okay, this is a movie to people to go watch and go, oh my god, there's a game about this. Great! Boom! And that's what you wanted. But the problem is that, of course, everybody dogged it. And it's sort of, well, if they're dogging the movie, the game can't be good. So they sort of, people, the fan base shot themselves in the foot. Because obviously, if Blizzard does well in the game, it comes, gets bonuses to them and everything else. It's like Fortnite. Look at Fortnite. Fortnite gets massive booms. Like, for those people who've been playing it on and off for years, they're just raking in all the benefits because all these collabs keep happening and they keep getting free stuff all the time. And it all just works out in their favor.
Well, I've actually just Googled that, and according to this, October 23rd, 2013, Warcraft 2 movie, The Beginning, sequel could be a reboot.
Ooh.
So it did say here that originally, so it says here, it seems like the sequel is likely. Tweets and interviews with director Duncan James sounds like it may never happen. Though in June 2020, Jones did tweet out that he had a 3-film outline for Warcraft going into details of the plot of each movie. That was obviously just before COVID, and I do think, according to this, COVID was what stopped it.
Yeah.
But now there's another article that came out literally last month that says the beginning of the Warcraft debut on big screen in 2016. A Warcraft 2 movie never followed, though several years have passed. Let's take a look at the chances of a sequel or a reboot to Blizzard's Thingo. So it does say that there does seem to be thing, and that's the weirdest thing. Will it be a reboot, or will we redo it? But there does seem to be some stories out there that are starting to look like there could actually be it, because I know the Chinese market was enormous.
Oh, sorry, I'm dying at the same time. But yeah, I actually think personally that they should try for it because, one, obviously we're going to get the story of we're going to get the story of the Horde and everything else, but the fact is that we can even go down, even the movies only have to go down, realistically, they could easily just go down the Frozen Throne route with Arthas, just go with that route. Guarantee you it will sell, and then they can switch back to modern day Warcraft and all that jazz, and it would work massively. It would be so good. So,
well, yeah. According to this, so I googled it again. It says Warcraft grossed $47.4 million in the US.
Yeah, how much did it cost though? That's how they base it.
So it cost $160 million in production costs, and additional, they reckon could be as much as $100 million spent on promotion. The film would need to earn between 450 to 500 million in order to break even / the profit that they would like.
Yeah,
but the film total worldwide is 439 million. Okay. So it actually grossed 391.7 million in other countries.
Yeah. So basically, it's the American fan base dogging it, and everyone else is like, actually, it's quite good as a movie. Yeah.
So yeah, so it is though, and it said also in several directs put losses of between $10 to $40 million range worldwide. It's but it became the highest grossing film based on a video game at the time. It was the first video game film to cross $4 million in ticket sales globally.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only the second Hollywood release to earn $100 million in China without making $100 million in the United States.
Interesting. Wow.
So, I mean, to be fair, that like it does look like the Americans just went, no, I wasn't watching that shit.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it was quite popular everywhere else in the world.
Yeah. So, I think this is where Hollywood realistically needs to sort of go, well, hang on a minute. Why is it popular everywhere else and not here? Is it just a lot of dogging on it? Which wouldn't be shocking, let's be honest.
I know when they first released it, the amount of hate and stuff I saw all over Twitter and different stuff. But then when I went and saw it, I was like, man, I was really pleasantly surprised. And to be fair, it does seem weird because it was nominated for a few awards, like visual effects awards and different things like that. And it wasn't until 2022 when they decided that, though it was reported that Legacy was developing a new Warcraft film, it says here, though it was not planned whether it was a reboot or a sequel for Jones, to continue to be distributed by Universal Pictures or for Legendary, current release partners Sony Pictures or Netflix. And to be fair, I feel like Netflix or something like that could be huge.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I mean, let's be honest. Netflix. I mean, they do really well with a lot of their stuff at the moment, sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, imagine it as a team. I mean, God forbid. To be fair, all they have to do is take World of Warcraft. What was it? Warcraft 3, the game. Take all the cinematics and just make him into. Take all the cinematics and storyline and just turn it into a TV series, and people will watch, because that is like one of the most popular World of Warcraft games ever created. Is World of Warcraft 3. And the Throws and Throne expansion for it is like mentally popular, sort of thing. So that,
but I think it would, and yeah, they have said pretty much, other than COVID, they reckon if COVID hadn't happened, in theory, it would have started shooting in 2020.
So
But
now
it's one of those things when you think about it. So normally, obviously, like with I know with the Avengers, I think it was something like $600 million for like Adventure Endgames was America, and then it was like 400-500 million in the world. So for it to take only less than 50K is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like to the point where, so to give you an example, so it opened on June 10th, 2016 in America and Canada, alongside The Conjuring 2 and Now You See It 2.
Oh, Now You See It though. I love that front.
No, 2. It's second.
Yeah, but still, Now You See It too. I love both movies. They're really good. So that's a hard call actually. If tell you what, if you tell me that, right, it's which one do you want to go see, World of Warcraft movie or Now You See Me too? It's like, ooh.
Well, and it wasn't the first. So according to this, so just some useless numbers, but I like numbers. So the film grossed $3.1 million in Thursday night previews.
Okay.
And $10.7 million on its first day. So it grossed a total of $24.2 million, which, to be fair, isn't huge compared to what it was. Finishing second in the box office to The Conjuring 2, which was $40.1 million. It fell by 7% on its second weekend, only earning $7.2 million. And it was only in cinema for 4 weeks. So it's one of those things where I do feel like the Americans, the fanboys, got behind it and just got hate on it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just weird for it to also be like 47 million there, and then over 400.
Yeah.
So
elsewhere.
I don't know how many people know this, but in China, they have a limit, which could be like 20, 30 films of American or international films being shown within China, which is why you're now seeing a lot of things like, if you think like, for example, The Meg, which we discussed I think a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It had an Asian production company, or a split Asian production company and a split Asian cast. The reason why a lot of people are doing that now is because it means that they can get big budgets in there, as well as also having that Chinese thing, so they don't count as an American one. So, for example, Warcraft was not only one of the ones that got in there, but it was also one that also grossed one of the top films in China in 2016.
To be fair though, I feel like given the gaming industry and how big it is in the Asian market, gaming industry in Asia is huge. The fact is, if there was ever to be, like, God forbid, like say they do a Halo movie randomly, or Halo, or a daughter movie. Oh, I don't know how you would do that, but that'd be interesting. But they do that. The fact is, like, I guarantee probably elsewhere it would be like, but I guarantee you in the Asian market, it would be like, it would sell like crazy, sort of thing, because the gaming industry is like big to them, guys, and like it's big everywhere technically, but they have sort of like you look at did I say daughter? Yeah, I said daughter, right? Yeah, like daughter is like, if you want to go play daughter professionally, you got to go to Korea. I mean, you can play it in every other country. Don't get me wrong. You can play wherever you want to play. But the fact is, if you want to play with the big guns and the big sharks, you got to go to Korea, and you got to and getting into a Korean team is like tooth and nails, man. Because there was a documentary on, I think it was on Netflix, ages ago. It was either on Netflix. No, it wasn't on Netflix. It was on Vice. I watched it on YouTube about the esports industry, and they ended up talking about the gaming industry in Korea and all this jazz and what it's like and everything else. And it's cutthroat, like a level beyond what I thought it was, sort of thing. You know, they're really harsh, but they work you like a horse. You know, they work you like proper training athletes. So the fact is, you're playing. You know, you might end up playing the game like 13 hours a day, sort of thing. And you know,
Which is weird though, because people are like, "Oh, that'd be a dream come true." I'm like, yeah, but you're probably only earning about $200 a day. Like,
yeah.
you wouldn't be earning much, and you would have no life, and you probably wouldn't get many days off.
Absolutely not. Oh no, absolutely no. Your life is dedicated around the tournament scene, and the tournament scene pretty much runs all year round. You know, it's like, oh well, we're playing here, great, fab. Oh, now we're traveling internationally for the international tournaments. Oh god. So you know, the fact is, you might think you got 3 months of the year off, but no, we're traveling on the bus, on the plane, sort of thing. But yeah, right. Anyway, I've just actually realised the time, and I can already hear some crashing about, and I'm gonna get in trouble. So we're gonna
just let you know. I just found out. Sorry.
All right, yeah, go on. Shoot away.
As of 2013, the quota for American films shown in China has been updated to 34.
Oh.
So you think about it, every single film in there is 34, where it was back in 2016, it was at 20.
Wow, that's a massive difference.
So when you think about it, that 2016 also had 3 or 4 Marvel releases and stuff like this, and according to this, it grossed $225.5 million in China alone.
Wow. Okay.
And it was the highest, and again, highest based film within China. But
that's impressive. That really is.
So that makes up half the market.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really good. Right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it there. We're in a timely manner for a change. We want to say a big thank you to all our recent followers and subscribers. If you can make sure you like, share, subscribe, do everything you can do. It obviously helps the algorithms wherever you're watching. Please make sure you do follow us at Dorks Down Under. We are available on TikTok, Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it. And then, obviously, you can find us on YouTube and Spotify, as well as all other good major podcasts, software and vidcasts and whatever else. I'll say we are working hard, and we're getting towards the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen. For us, we are going to end in December-ish, somewhere. We don't know where yet. We are trying to work it out, sort of thing, between ourselves, because we're kind of ahead of ourselves, but we're not ahead of ourselves. So once we know when our cutoff is, we will let everyone know, and we are looking forward to it. But obviously,
the good thing is if we do record a few up until say mid-December, we may actually be able to almost run them through to our break, possibly because I think we're 1 or 2 ahead at the moment.
Potentially, ladies and gentlemen.
We're not promising anything, but yes, I'm just
no promises, ladies and gentlemen. We
could tell you we're ending on the 15th. But we probably recorded it on like the 1st of December, or it could run over.
Yeah, it might run over. We are planning on having a nice break off. That allows me and Dez obviously to get our main lives in order and jobs paid and everything else, as well as also allowing us some family time over the holidays, which is what we're looking forward to and whatnot.
And also maybe some WoW time. If anybody
no, absolutely not.
I am not sponsor the podcast. We should have a Patreon to try to fund our
We
WoW.
are not having a Patreon. It's bad enough. I'll tell you what. The stupid games you made me buy last time, I'm addicted to one of them. You know that Tomato Jones series? You know there was a bundle I bought. It's not even the Tomato... Yeah. Right, don't get me wrong. I can see why you like Tomato Jones, right, for a start off. That's quite good. But that Build More Cubes game... Oh my god. I have played so much of it. It is a stupid game, and I just end up playing it for hours randomly. It's like randomly, I just get... I've got a bit of time, I'll go play that. And it just... Oh, it's terrible. But it's just like, I can't stop playing it.
Playing at home? Playing at home? I did not tell him to get those. I told him to get Tomato Jones.
I did. I've got Tomato Jones as well. I got the bundle.
He decided to buy the bundle, so because he purchased the bundle, not Derek told him to purchase the bundle, he purchased the bundle, so that's on him, not on me. You purchased the bundle off your own bat. I only said 3 games. I only wanted you to spend $2.25. You decided to buy the bundle, and now you're obsessed. Not my fault.
It is your fault. Anyway, much love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out. Relax.